Welcome to today's edition of Crypto Corner at InvestorIdeas.com. News on what's driving the cryptocurrency market. Hello everyone, this is Sam Mowers here. Welcome to episode 783 of the Crypto Corner podcast. For news today, eBay is considering crypto as a payment method. BLOK has reported its Q4 results, and Global BLOK has given an update on its FCA application. Just before we get into the show today, a quick reminder that if you enjoy this podcast, to please feel free to share it or leave us a review. And as always, I recommend checking out some of the other podcasts on InvestorIdeas.com. This includes the Cannabis Podcast, the Clean Tech and Climate Change Podcast, along with many others, all of which will bring you up to speed on the latest stock news and trends in their respective spaces. All right, so The Street reports that eBay Inc., which trades on the NASDAQ under the ticker EBAY, is considering adding cryptocurrencies as a method of payment. The company's CEO, Jamie Ianon, explained, quote, "We're not accepting crypto currently, but on March 10th, we're going to go deeper on all these things. Payments, advertising, our focus categories," end quote. Ianon also explained the company's addition of NFT trading. Quote, "We did change our policies last year so that you could trade NFTs on the platform. And essentially, eBay is a place where people have something to sell and people have something by showing up. So even without announcing anything or doing anything, people started trading NFTs on the platform. It reminded me of many years ago when people just started selling cars and we didn't even have a vehicle business at that point. So we're seeing the same type of thing with NFTs," end quote. BLOK Inc., which trades on the NYSE under the ticker symbol SQ, formerly known as Square Inc., has published a shareholder letter outlining its results for the fourth quarter of 2021. This following excerpt details the results of its Bitcoin business through its Cash App. Quote, "Cash App generated $1.96 billion of Bitcoin revenue and $46 million of Bitcoin gross profit during the fourth quarter of 2021, up 12% and 14% year over year respectively. On a 2-year compound annual growth rate basis, Bitcoin revenue and gross profit grew 232% and 285% respectively. Bitcoin revenue and gross profit benefited from year-over-year increases in the price of Bitcoin and number of Bitcoin actives. Compared to the third quarter of 2021, Bitcoin revenue and gross profit increased on a quarter-over-quarter basis, driven primarily by increased volatility in the price of Bitcoin, which affected trading activity compared to the prior quarter. For the full year of 2021, Cash App generated $10.01 billion of Bitcoin revenue and $218 million of Bitcoin gross profit, up 119% and 124% year over year respectively. In future quarters, Bitcoin revenue and gross profit may fluctuate as a result of changes in customer demand or the market price of Bitcoin, particularly as we lap strong growth rates on a year over year basis in the first quarter of 2021, end quote. Global BLOK Digital Asset Trading Limited, which trades on the TSXV as BLOK, has shared an update on its pending application by its wholly owned UK subsidiary Global BLOK Limited for registration as a crypto asset business with the Financial Conduct Authority in the United Kingdom, or FCA. According to the press release, Global BLOK UK has now received a warning notice from the FCA indicating that it is minded to refuse the application. The company now plans to present a rigorous and fulsome response to the FCA in a bid to change its conclusion. That does it for today's Crypto Corner. If you would like to be a guest or sponsor for this podcast, contact InvestorIdeas.com. Investor Ideas reminds all listeners to read our disclaimers and disclosures on the InvestorIdeas.com website, and this podcast is not an endorsement to buy products, services, or securities. Investors are reminded all investment involves risk and possible loss in investment. To hear more InvestorIdeas.com podcasts, please visit InvestorIdeas.com/audio. And a reminder, you can also hear our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Audible, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and most audio platforms available.